This is more than just a podcast. It's a moment to stop, to breathe, to notice how you've been showing up. We were taught to push through, to stay strong, to hold it all together even when it cost us connection. But fatherhood was never meant to be survival. Here, we slow down before we raise our voice. We regulate before we correct. We learn that presence does more than pressure ever could. Because when a father changes how he shows up, the entire home shifts. Children feel safe instead of tense, partners feel supported instead of alone, and calm replaces chaos. Brothers, this is where awareness becomes action, where healing becomes leadership, where strength is measured by steadiness, not control. This is 15 Minutes with Dad, and this is the work, this is the responsibility, and this is how we change generations. Welcome back to 15 Minutes with Dad. This is episode 6 of Fatherhood While Healing series. In episode 1, we talked about what happens when the family changes. In episode 2, we talked about a little bit more into that co-parenting space and how to do that when you're still hurt. Episode 3, we talked about navigating the fatherhood identity crisis. Who are you after the relationship fails? In episode 4, we talked about those missing moments, the critical part of separation that happens between both parents and how it impacts the child and how fathers perceive themselves and how they perceive the situation that's at hand. And in episode 5, we talked about the co-parenting reset. And this is more about how you navigate building a trusting relationship with someone that you no longer are romantically engaged with. And today we are talking about the healing father, because separation has a way of exposing wounds you thought you already handled. It touches rejection, it touches abandonment, it touches failure, it touches not feeling chosen. It touches the fear of losing connection with your children. It touches the part of you that still wonders, am I enough? Or am I doing this right this time? And will my children still know me? Will they still need me? Will I become like the father I needed but did not have? That part is heavy. And for a lot of men, this is where childhood starts speaking through adulthood. Their childhood starts speaking through their adulthood as a father. And not because you are weak, it's because pain stores patterns. And if we do not slow down, those patterns can start leading our parenting. This episode is about healing before the wound becomes a family pattern. It's not perfect healing. It's healing honestly. And the kind of healing that says, this happened to me, but it does not have to keep happening through me. So let's get into it. Here is something I had to learn. Separation does not always create the wound. Sometimes separation reveals the wound. It reveals what was already there. It reveals that fear of abandonment, that need to prove yourself, or that need to control, or the shutdowns, the anger, the people pleasing, the overfunctioning, the emotional numbness, or the belief that everything is your fault, or the belief that nothing you do is enough. A breakup can touch the same nervous system that was shaped by childhood. So when your co-parent sends a message and your body reacts before your mind even catches up, sometimes that reaction is bigger than the text. When a schedule changes and you feel panic, sometimes that panic is bigger than the schedule. When your child pulls away and you feel rejected, sometimes that pain is bigger than the moment. That is where healing matters, because without awareness, we do not respond to what is happening. We respond to what it reminds us of. And a lot of men were taught that healing was personal, private, something you deal with alone. But fatherhood changes that. Modern fatherhood changes that. Your healing does not only affect you, it affects your tone, your patience, your reactions, your boundaries that you set, your communication style, your personal discipline, your co-parenting, and your ability to repair. Your children may never know the whole story of what you've had to survive, but they will feel how you carry it. This is why the healing father matters. Because a father who refuses to heal may still love his children deeply, but love without healing can still repeat the harm that you've experienced. Love without awareness can still yell. Love without regulation can still withdraw. Love without accountability can still blame. Love without healing can still control. Healing does not replace love. Healing teaches love how to become safe. Now let's deal with the common pushback from this concept. Some men say, the past is the past. I turned out fine. Like, what do I need to change? Or my kids don't need all that emotional stuff. Like, I'm a man. This is how I am. Or I'm not going to blame my childhood forever. I take accountability for what's happened. It is what it is. Now, I understand some of that. But at some point, we do have to take responsibility for our healing. We cannot use our past as an excuse to harm people in the present. But ignoring the past is not the same thing as taking responsibility. Let's be clear. Sometimes men say the past is the past while their nervous system keeps reacting like the past is still happening. You say the past is over, but you shut down when conflict starts. You say the past is over, but you explode when your child disrespectful or your partner disrespects you. You say the past is over, but you panic when someone needs space. You say the past is over, but you hear feedback as rejection and you get defensive. You say the past is over, but you keep trying to earn love by carrying everything. And that is not the past being gone at all. That is the past running the system. So the aligned father does not blame the past. It studies it. The aligned father studies it. He learns from it. He heals what needs healing. Then he chooses differently. Now let's name a few wounds that often show up after separation. The big one, the abandonment wound. This says, man, people always leave. Love is not safe. Distance means rejections. So you may become anxious, controlling, or desperate for reassurance. Or the rejection wound. This says, if someone does not choose me, something is wrong with me. So you may over-explain, over-prove, or become defensive. Or the failure wound. This one says, if the relationship ended, I failed as a man. So you may drown in shame instead of taking healthy accountability. There's the control wound, where a lot of us easily fall into. This one says, if I cannot control the situation, I am not safe. And you may try to control the schedule, the other parent, the child's feelings, or the story, or the narrative about you. And the emotional neglect wound. This says, my feelings do not matter. So you may shut down, avoid support, or struggle to name what it is that you really need. There's the overfunctioning wound. This says, I have to carry everything to be loved. And if I don't show up, if I don't succeed at this, I'm not worth loving. So you may burn yourself out trying to prove you are still worthy. These wounds do not make you broken. They reveal where you need support. And when you bring awareness to them, whichever one they are, you stop making your child live under the weight of those wounds. Unhealed pain does not always look like obvious damage. Sometimes it looks like tension, a short tone, a silent ride home, stonewalling, overreacting to small behavior, taking disrespect personally, making a child feel responsible for your mood, talking badly about the other parent, overcorrecting, overconnecting, withdrawing when you feel hurt, trying to turn your child into your emotional ally, using guilt to create closeness, avoiding boundaries because you feel bad. These are the ways pain leaks. Not because fathers do not care, because many fathers are trying to parent through wounds they have not named yet. And children are sensitive to emotional patterns. So they notice your tone, they notice your tension. They notice when dad is present, but not really there. They notice when love feels conditional on loyalty. They notice when sadness becomes pressure. And that's why healing matters. Your child should not have to become an expert in managing your emotions. And one of the biggest blind spots after separation is this. Fathers can confuse pain with protection. Like you may think you are protecting your child when you speak negatively about the other parent by telling them who their other parent is. You may be feeding confusion. You may think you are protecting your child when you try to control every detail, but you're actually creating anxiety in your child. You may think you are protecting your bond when you ask your child where they want to live or who do they prefer, but you may be putting them in a loyalty conflict. You may think you are protecting yourself by withdrawing when you're in this relationship with your partner or your co-parent or your child. But your child, your partner, your co-parent may experience your absence as rejection. The question is not only what am I trying to protect, it's more so, is the way I am protecting creating safety? Now that is a pause and think moment. Is the way I am protecting creating safety? Because protection without regulation of your emotions can become a great sense of pressure for whoever you're with, whether it's your partner or your co-parent or your child. Protection without healing can become control. Protection without emotional awareness can become the same fear you were trying to prevent. Now, here's a practical framework for fathers who want to break cycles. Number 1, let's name the wound. Which one of the wounds I named earlier are you experiencing? And you don't need to acknowledge it for judgment. Do not start with judging it. Just start with awareness. Say things like, okay, this feels like rejection, or this feels like abandonment. This feels like failure. This feels like not being heard. Naming the wound gives your brain a language, and language slows reaction. So number 2, separate the past from the present. Ask yourself, what is happening right now? What are the facts? What does this remind me of? And those are 2 different questions, but both of them are very important. They are not the same. Number 3, regulate before engaging in an argument or a debate with your partner or parenting. Regulate first. Do not discipline from activation. Do not come from a defensive place discussing the feelings that your partner have voiced to you. Do not text from panic. Do not correct from shame, and do not make decisions from fear. Pause first. Number 4, choose the value-led response. How do you get the most? What response gets you the most value? Ask what response matches the father I am becoming. Not the father I had, not the parents I had, not the man pain trained me to be. The father I am becoming. What response matches the father that I am becoming? Number 5, repair quickly. Repair quickly. Take accountability quickly. Whether it's your partner, your kids, your co-parents, healing does not mean you never miss it. It means you return. You apologize, you clarify, you reconnect, you model accountability, especially to your kids. That teaches children what healthy growth looks like. Number 6, build support. You need adults who help you process pain. Therapy, brotherhood, a faith community, mentorship, trusted friends, a men's group. Do not heal in isolation and expect connection to grow. Now, fathers, I want to talk about what the different developmental stages of your kids and what they need from you in order to break this cycle. Toddlers need regulated bodies around them. They borrow calmness from you. So if your nervous system is always intense, their world feels intense. Young children need emotional language. They need to hear words like, "Dad got frustrated." That's an emotional word. "That was not your fault. I am working on calming my body." That's what young children need. Your preteens need honest modeling. They watch whether you take responsibility or blame others. They notice whether you apologize. They know whether you shut down. Teens need emotional integrity. They do not need a perfect father. They need one who tells the truth. They need to see you grow, not only hear you talk about growth. Adolescents need space to form their own understanding. Do not make them responsible for your healing. Do not make them choose sides. Do not turn your wound into their worldview. At every age, children need the same message. My healing is my responsibility. You are loved. You are safe. You are not here to carry my pain. Now, healing looks ordinary. It is not always dramatic. There is no big shift, no big hoorah. Sometimes healing sounds like, "I need a minute before I respond." Or, "I am upset, but I am not going to yell right now." And be like, "Okay, well, I should not have said that. I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. You did not cause my mood. I'm just going through some things." Or, "I'm working on this." Or, "I love you even when I'm quiet." Or, "I'm sorry. I'm learning this. I'm learning this thing to be better." Sometimes healing looks like deleting the paragraph you are about to send. It looks like taking a walk instead of raising your voice. Healing looks like saying less, believe it or not. It looks like saying the honest thing. It looks like refusing to talk bad about your co-parent even when you are hurt. It looks like choosing peace when your ego wants proof. Healing is not soft. It's disciplined. It's leadership, even under pressure. The aligned father understands that healing is not separate from fatherhood. It is a part of fatherhood. He knows his child does not need him to be untouched by pain. His child needs him to become responsible with the pain. That means he does not weaponize his wounds. He does not make his child earn his mood. He does not turn separation into bitterness. He does not confuse control with love. He does not avoid accountability because shame feels heavy. He does not pretend the past had no impact. He faces it. He studies it. He heals it. He leads through it. And he says, "This pain stops with me. This pattern gets interrupted here. This child would not inherit what I refuse to face." These words are not a slogan. It's daily work. And that is fatherhood while healing. If there's one thing I want every father to take from today, it is this. Your children do not need a father who had a perfect past. They need a father who takes responsibility for his present. Separation may have exposed wounds. It may have touched old fears. It may have brought childhood pain back to the surface. But it does not mean you are broken. It means something inside of you is asking for healing. And healing is not only for you, it is for the child who watches you. It's the child who learns love from you, the child who will learn conflict from you, and the child who will learn repair from you. And mostly it's the child who learns what strength looks like by how you handled it. So do the work, name the wound, slow the reaction, get support, repair when you miss it, and keep choosing the father you are becoming. And in the next episode, we're talking about dating. Yeah, we're talking about dating, love, and fatherhood after separation. How do you rebuild love without using a new relationship to avoid healing? And until then, stay honest, stay grounded, break the cycle, and keep becoming. Before you move on, let's pause here, because growth doesn't happen in the listening. It happens in what you choose next. So you don't need to change everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Stay present long enough to practice something different. So carry this into your home, into those small moments, the hard conversations, and the quiet decisions no one applauds. That's where fatherhood is built. And if something here resonated, let it become action. Let it become consistency, or become the way that you lead. Because this is how trust is formed. This is how safety is felt, and this is how generational change actually happens. And if this episode helped you, share it with another father who's trying to do better. And if you have a story, a win, or a lesson you're learning, email me at Lirec, Lirec, at 15minuteswithdad.com. That's Lirec at 15minuteswithdad.com. Because this work grows through shared experiences.